Hey guys, welcome to Y&R Daily Update YouTube channel. Today's topics. Before continuing Y&R, early week spoilers September 1st to 5th. Kane's next move, Phyllis's crisis launch party, disaster. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of September 1st suggest some twists and curveballs. Fans can expect Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn to continue making bold moves. Get updates on the latest news about the Young and the Restless straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford faces a crisis. Also, the Abbott Communications launch party is doomed to be a disaster. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera, Sally Spectra's launch party. Let's begin with Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, and the launch party for Abbott Communications. It's retro-themed, which sounds like fun. However, all signs point to this party being a disaster. Sally has hired Audrey Charles Zulia Silver at Abbott Communications. Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, wasn't thrilled with the idea. However, Billy also trusts Sally and is letting her take the lead on this. Party popper Sally Spectra's launch. Party turns wild. You won't believe who crashed the event. Sally Spectra has never been a woman to do anything halfway, and her latest fashion launch party proved just that. The fiery redhead pulled out all the stops to make her newest collection debut one for the books, and it was every bit as glamorous, chaotic, and jaw-dropping as fans in Genoa City could have imagined. What started as a carefully curated night of elegance quickly spiraled into a whirlwind of shocking confrontations, surprise appearances, and dramatic twists that will be remembered long after the champagne glasses are cleared away. The night began with Sally stepping onto the red carpet in a show-stopping gown that shimmered under the camera lights. Photographers clamored for the perfect shot as she exuded confidence, looking every bit the powerhouse designer who had fought tooth and nail for her place in the cutthroat world of fashion. Beside her, Adam Newman made a subtle but powerful entrance. His dark suit perfectly tailored, and his smoldering stare sending ripples of speculation through the crowd. Was this a date, a public show of support, or another chapter in their complicated love story? The whispers only grew louder as they posed together, Sally leaning into him with a sly smile that suggested she knew exactly what she was doing. Inside the venue, everything glowed with Sally's signature flair. Scarlet roses lined the tables, models glided across the runway in daring designs, and a playlist curated for maximum impact kept the energy high. For a moment, it looked like the night might go smoothly. But of course, in true soap fashion, the calm didn't last long. The first ripple of drama came when Nick Newman arrived unexpectedly, his presence instantly setting tongues wagging. His history with Sally was complicated at best, and though he flashed his trademark charming smile, his eyes lingered just a second too long on Sally and Adam's display of unity. The tension was subtle but palpable. As the party continued, Sally worked the room with her usual mix of charisma and determination. She based in the attention, clearly relishing the moment. But she also kept her eyes sharp, fully aware that in Genoa City, celebrations can turn into battlegrounds without warning. Her instincts were right because the night's biggest shocker was yet to come. Just as the fashion show reached its dazzling conclusion, the doors swung open and in walked none other than Phyllis Summers. The room froze. Gasps echoed through the crowd. Phyllis, never one to shy away from making an entrance, looked stunning and defiant. Her eyes locked on Sally with a mix of disdain and challenge. The two women have been circling each other for months, their rivalry growing sharper with every passing encounter. But no one expected Phyllis to crash Sally's big night so boldly. It was the kind of move only she could pull off, and it instantly shifted the atmosphere from celebratory to combustible. Sally, never one to back down, lifted her chin and welcomed Phyllis with a cool, almost mocking smile. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Enjoying the show? She asked, her voice carrying across the room. Phyllis, unflinching, replied with a pointed remark about how some designers know how to steal ideas, but not the spotlight. The crowd gasped again, guests whispering and waiting to see if a full-blown confrontation would erupt. Adam, standing protectively nearby, bristled at the insult, but Sally held her ground. Instead of firing back with anger, she simply raised her glass in a toast, proving she wouldn't let Phyllis derail her night. Still, the tension crackled like static, leaving everyone on edge. As if that weren't enough, another unexpected guest appeared, Summer Newman. Her arrival added a whole new layer of complexity given her rocky history with both Sally and Phyllis. The young Newman Aries looked caught between loyalty to her mother and curiosity about Sally's success. Watching Summer navigate the room was like witnessing a chess match. Every move calculated, every glance full of meaning. When she finally approached Sally, the air practically buzzed with anticipation. Surprisingly, the two women shared a polite, even supportive exchange, leaving Phyllis visibly rattled. It was a rare moment of maturity for Summer and a clear sign that the alliances in Genoa City are always shifting. Meanwhile, the party's energy refused to die down. Champagne flowed, music thumped, and guests danced as though they hadn't just witnessed multiple bombshells drop. Sally took to the microphone to thank her supporters, delivering a heartfelt speech about resilience, ambition, and never giving up on dreams. No matter how many people try to stand in the way, her words struck a chord, not just with her audience, but with viewers at home who know just how much Sally has fought to prove herself. For a brief moment, she had the spotlight entirely to herself, and she owned it. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. But the drama wasn't finished. Backstage, whispers began to spread of another looming scandal. Rumor had it that one of Sally's competitors had tried to sabotage the show by tampering with her designs. Though nothing was confirmed, the tension suggested that the fashion world in Genoa City is about to get even more cutthroat. Sally's enemies may have failed to ruin her launch night, but they're clearly not done trying. And with Phyllis, Nick, Adam, and Summer all tangled in her orbit, the fallout from this wild party is guaranteed to spark fresh battles in the days ahead. By the time the lights dimmed and the last guests departed, one thing was clear. Sally Spectra's launch party wasn't just a celebration of fashion, it was a declaration of war, a showcase of power plays, and a reminder that in Genoa City, no event is ever just about the clothes. With shocking arrivals, fiery rivalries, and simmering romances on full display, the night was pure soap opera gold, leaving fans eager to see what Sally does next. Astonished face drama explodes at Sally Spectra's big night. Rivalries and secrets take center stage. When Sally Spectra throws a party, everyone knows it's not just about glitz and glamour. It's about staking her claim in Genoa City's elite circles. Her latest fashion launch was supposed to be the crowning jewel of her comeback, a flawless evening to showcase her designs, charm the press, and prove once and for all that she belongs among the best. But as any longtime fan of Genoa City knows, nothing ever goes off without a hitch. And this night proved to be one of the most explosive events in recent memory. Rivalries reignited, secrets spilled, and unexpected alliances formed under the glittering lights, making it a night nobody will forget. The venue itself was breathtaking. From the moment guests entered, they were greeted by cascading red roses, shimmering chandeliers, and models in daring gowns strutting through the crowd like living art. Sally wanted to send a message that her brand wasn't just about fashion, it was about spectacle. For the first half hour, it looked like her vision had paid off. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. The energy was high. Champagne flowed freely, and Sally looked like a queen holding court. Dressed in a figure-hugging gown that commanded attention, she embodied the success story she's been fighting so hard to write. But beneath the glamour, drama was bubbling, waiting to explode. Adam Newman's presence added immediate intrigue. He arrived at Sally's side, looking every inch the mysterious, brooding ally, and perhaps more. Their complicated relationship has always fascinated fans, and tonight it was on full display. Whispers rippled through the crowd as they exchanged knowing glances and subtle touches. But the night took its first turn when Nick Newman arrived. His history with Sally is impossible to ignore, and the tension between him and Adam was thick enough to cut with a knife. Observers couldn't help but notice the pointed looks exchanged across the room. To casual guests, it might have seemed like nothing, but to those who know the Newman brothers' history with Sally, it was the opening move in a night of subtle warfare. The next shock came when Phyllis Summers made her grand entrance. She wasn't on the guest list, and everyone knew it. Yet, Phyllis walked in as though she owned the room, her fiery presence igniting instant chatter. Her rivalry with Sally is well documented, and by choosing to crash this night, Phyllis sent a clear message. She wasn't about to let Sally bask in her triumph without challenge. The moment their eyes met across the room, the tension skyrocketed. Sally, refusing to back down, greeted her. The moment their eyes met across the room, the tension skyrocketed. Sally, refusing to back down, greeted her with icy composure. But Phyllis wasted no time throwing shade, commenting loudly about Sally's borrowed ideas and questionable rise to the top. The crowd gasped, Adam visibly bristled, and Nick looked caught in the middle of yet another confrontation involving the two fiery women in his life. But the drama didn't stop there. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Summer. Newman's arrival turned the night into an emotional chessboard. Summer has her own history with Sally, one that blends rivalry, resentment, and reluctant respect. When she entered, all eyes were on her to see which side she would take. To the shock of many, Summer offered Sally a polite congratulations. It was a small gesture, but one that spoke volumes. For a moment, it looked like Summer was distancing herself from her mother's vendetta. And Phyllis did not hide her displeasure. The clash between Phyllis and Summer became a subplot of its own. A mother-daughter rift playing out against the backdrop of Sally's success. Meanwhile, the party itself threatened to unravel behind the scenes. Rumors began circulating that someone had attempted to sabotage the show. A missing dress, a tampered zipper, a late model. Each incident might have seemed minor on its own, but together they suggested a deliberate attempt to ruin Sally's big moment. Who was behind it? Speculation swirled. Could it have been Phyllis trying to prove a point? Or perhaps another rival, in the fashion world jealous of Sally's rising star? The mystery added another layer of tension, keeping everyone on edge. Sally, however, refused to let the chaos derail her. With sheer determination, she pulled the show together, turning potential disasters into triumphs with her quick thinking. As the night wore on, alliances shifted. Adam remained steadfastly in Sally's corner, but Nick's lingering stare suggested unresolved feelings. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Summer's surprising show of support created cracks in her bond with Phyllis, and Phyllis herself seemed torn between lashing out and biding her time for a more devastating move. Every conversation carried double meaning. Every glance hinted at secrets yet to be revealed. Genoa City's movers and shakers weren't just there for the fashion. They were there to watch power plays unfold in real time. The climax of the night came when Sally took the stage for her speech. With the spotlight on her, she delivered a powerful message about resilience, reinvention, and never letting anyone dictate your destiny. Her words, though meant to inspire, also carried pointed undertones directed at her detractors in the room. Phyllis shifted uncomfortably. Nick's jaw tightened, and Adam's pride was evident. It was clear Sally wasn't just celebrating fashion. She was declaring her strength and staking her claim as a force to be reckoned with in Genoa City. But even as the applause rang out, whispers continued. Did Phyllis know something that could bring Sally down? Was Adam hiding a secret that could change their dynamic, yet again? Could Nick's unresolved feelings complicate everything further? And what about the sabotage rumors? Would they resurface with evidence pointing to an unexpected culprit? The night ended with smiles, hugs, and glittering lights, but beneath the surface, the seeds of new rivalries and betrayals were sown. Sally's launch party may have been designed to showcase her latest designs, but it became so much more. A battlefield of egos, secrets, and power struggles, with Phyllis crashing the scene, Summer choosing her own path. Nick and Adam caught in a simmering rivalry, and whispers of sabotage in the air. The fallout from this night is bound to ripple through Genoa City for weeks to come. Sally may have survived the storm with her head held high, but the drama is only just beginning. Audra, Charles's mess. Audra will definitely be at his party, but so will a lot of people in Genoa City. That means both Kyle Abbott, Michael Miller, and Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, could attend together. Leave it up to Audra to let her emotions and rage get out of control during the party. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. What is this? Not only could that lead to Kyle being publicly exposed, but it could force Sally to fire her friend and have major damage control to do, as well. Face screaming in fear. Audra Charles in trouble. Her latest scheme blows up in Genoa City. Genoa City is no stranger to scandal, betrayal, and schemes that can unravel in the blink of an eye. But even the most seasoned residents are shocked at the latest downfall of Audra Charles. Known for her sharp business acumen, fiery ambition, and knack for manipulating situations to her advantage, Audra has long been a figure to watch in the world of high-stakes corporate and personal drama. Yet this time, the risk-taker may have pushed her luck too far. Sources close to the drama unfolding behind the boardroom doors and in the tangled web of personal relationships reveal that Audrey's latest move has spectacularly backfired, leaving her scrambling to regain control of her life, career, and reputation. The fallout has not only threatened her power, but also exposed her to enemies who are more than eager to see her fall from grace. Audra's rise in Genoa City was anything but accidental. A savvy businesswoman with an unshakable determination to climb the ladder of power, she quickly proved she could go head-to-head with some of the most ruthless players in town, whether it was leveraging alliances, seducing rivals, or making sure she always had the upper hand in negotiations. Audra positioned herself as someone not to be underestimated. However, her ambition has always walked a fine line between brilliance and recklessness. And in this latest scheme, that line may have been obliterated. Reports suggest that Audra tried to engineer a power grab that would solidify her influence, not just in business, but also in the personal dynamics surrounding the Newman and Abbott families. Unfortunately for her, the pieces did not fall into place the way she had anticipated. The heart of the matter seems to revolve around a delicate balance of loyalty and betrayal. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Audra believed she could manipulate the fractured relationships within Genoa City's most powerful families, playing them against each other while positioning herself as the indispensable ally. Her strategy, insiders claim, was to pit Kyle Abbott's wavering trust against the demands of Victor Newman's empire while simultaneously keeping Nate Hastings on the hook as a confidant and potential partner. But Genoa City is not a town where secrets remain hidden for long. What Audra failed to anticipate was how quickly her carefully laid plans would unravel once key players started comparing notes. Kyle, who has been burned before by deception, began to sense that Audra was not entirely truthful about her intentions. Nate, still haunted by past mistakes, grew wary of being used yet again as someone else's pawn, and Victor always sees the storm before it hits. As her lies began to stack up, Audra faced the one thing she has always feared: exposure. Genoa City thrives on gossip, whispers, and confrontations that can shift power dynamics overnight. When Audra's scheme started to leak, the ripple effects were immediate. Boardroom allies pulled back, wary of being associated with her manipulations. Former friends turned cold, feeling betrayed by her willingness to sacrifice loyalty for personal gain. Even her romantic entanglements began to crumble, leaving her isolated in a town where isolation is a dangerous position. Audra has always been a fighter, but even she may not be able to weather the storm this time. What makes this collapse all the more dramatic is that Audra genuinely believed she had the upper hand. In her mind, the move was flawless: align with those who held power, suddenly weaken her rivals, and emerge as the irreplaceable figure who held all the answers. She underestimated, however, the tenacity of those who have been in the game far longer than she has. Victor Newman is not easily deceived, Kyle Abbott is not easily controlled, and Nate Hastings has learned enough from his past missteps to avoid falling into another trap. The convergence of these forces against her created the perfect storm that Audra could not escape. The fallout is not only professional but deeply personal. Sources say Audra has found herself cut off from the very people she believed she could manipulate into supporting her. Friends and lovers alike have confronted her about her double dealings, leaving her cornered emotionally as well as strategically. The humiliation of being outmaneuvered, particularly in a city where reputation is everything, has left Audra's confidence shaken. For someone who thrives on control, being exposed in this way is more than just a setback. It's a devastating blow to her very identity. Yet, for longtime viewers and fans, this twist may not come as a total surprise. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Audra has long danced on the edge of danger, and her hunger for success often blinded her to the risks she was taking. The allure of power in Genoa City has claimed many victims before her, and unless she can quickly regroup and outwit those who now seek to bring her down, she may be the latest casualty. Still, there are whispers that Audra isn't finished just yet. Her resilience and cunning have pulled her out of dire straits before, and those who know her best caution that it would be a mistake to count her out entirely. What lies ahead for Audrey Charles is a burning question that has everyone talking. Will she manage to claw her way back from the brink using her trademark charisma and intelligence to rebuild her standing, or has she finally crossed a line that even she cannot return from? The answers may lie in her next moves, whether she chooses to apologize and seek redemption or double down on her manipulative tactics in a last-ditch effort to reclaim power. Either way, one thing is certain: Genoa City will never look at her the same way again. This explosive fallout is already sending shockwaves through every corner of town. Business deals are in jeopardy, personal relationships are fractured, and alliances are being redrawn in real time. For Audra, the road ahead looks rocky, but her name is now etched deeper than ever into the city's history of scandal. Whether she emerges from this as a cautionary tale or a comeback queen remains to be seen, but one thing is undeniable. Audra, Charles's latest scheme has blown up in spectacular fashion, and Genoa City will be buzzing about it for a long time to come. Fire Audra's web of lies unravels. Who will expose her first? The power players of Genoa City are no strangers to deception, betrayal, and backstabbing. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. But few have spun a web as intricate and dangerous as Audra Charles. From the moment she walked into town, Audra has been a woman on a mission, hungry for influence, determined to rise to the top, and willing to use anyone who crossed her path to get there. But the very schemes that once elevated her may now become her undoing. Her web of lies, carefully constructed with calculated charm and ruthless manipulation, is starting to unravel. And the question on everyone's lips is, who will be the first to expose her? Audra has always known how to turn situations in her favor. Whether aligning with the powerful Newmans, seducing vulnerable Abbotts, or partnering with men like Nate Hastings to gain corporate leverage, she has managed to insert herself into the most influential circles. Her talent lies not only in her intelligence, but in her ability to sense weakness in others and exploit it without hesitation. She built her career and reputation on half-truths and veiled threats, convincing allies that she was their strongest supporter while secretly plotting their downfall. But as every veteran of Genoa City knows, lies cannot stay buried forever. And when they begin to surface, the entire house of cards collapses. The unraveling began quietly, an inconsistency here, a slip of the tongue there. Kyle Abbott, who has been through his fair share of betrayal, began to sense that Audra was not entirely forthcoming about her intentions. He noticed how she whispered different stories to different people, creating chaos that ultimately gave her the upper hand. For Kyle, already on edge from family pressures, this realization struck hard. Was Audra genuinely invested in him, or was he just another pawn in her game? Kyle's growing suspicion may be the thread that begins to pull apart Audra's entire fabric of deception. Then there is Nate Hastings, who knows all too well the sting of manipulation. Once entangled with Audra in both business and temptation, Nate has learned to recognize when someone is playing him for their own gain. He's burned bridges before, particularly with Alina, and vowed not to repeat the mistakes that nearly cost him everything. If Nate discovers that Audra has been leveraging his trust while whispering in Victor Newman's ear, he may be the one to step forward with proof of her duplicity, and Nate's exposure would cut deep, as he has intimate knowledge of her tactics and vulnerabilities. But perhaps the most dangerous figure in Audra unraveling story is Victor Newman himself. Victor has always prided himself on being 10 steps ahead of everyone else, and he does not tolerate deceit within his empire. For a time, Audra believed she could manipulate even Victor, feeding him information that suited her purposes while hiding her true agenda. But Victor's keen eye for betrayal cannot be underestimated. Once he begins to piece together her lies, and make no mistake, he always does, Audra may find herself not just exposed, but utterly destroyed by the most powerful man in Genoa City. Meanwhile, whispers are spreading among the women of Genoa City as well. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Nikki Newman, always protective of her family, has long distrusted Audra's influence over the younger generation. If Nikki decides to dig deeper, she could easily find evidence of Audra's double dealings and bring them to light. Similarly, Phyllis Summers, who thrives on exposing secrets when it suits her, could use Audra's downfall as ammunition in her own battles. With so many sharp-eyed women ready to pounce, Audra may not realize just how surrounded she truly is. The unraveling is not just about business or power. It is also deeply personal. Audra has toyed with emotions, exploited vulnerabilities, and broken trust in ways that leave scars. Genoa City thrives on gossip and loyalty tests, and once her lies become common knowledge, the social fallout may be even more devastating than the corporate one. Lovers scorned, friends betrayed, allies humiliated. Each of them has a reason to see Audra fall, and the first one to step forward with the truth will not only bring her down but also reshape the entire balance of power in Genoa City. What makes this situation all the more dramatic is the ticking clock. Audra knows the walls are closing in and she is scrambling to contain the damage. She's doubling down on charm, trying to outwit those who are suspicious and attempting to SEO confusion that could buy her more time. But time may no longer be on her side. Every move she makes seems to backfire, and every word she speaks raises more questions than it answers. The once confident woman who could command a room with a smile now finds herself glancing over her shoulder, wondering who will strike first. The question of who will expose her is not just speculation, it's a catalyst for the next seismic shift in Genoa City's power struggles. If Kyle unmasks her, the fallout could fracture the Abbott family and end Odrejunk's chances of solidifying her place in their world. If Nate calls her out, her credibility in the corporate sphere will be obliterated, leaving her with no allies in the Newman Empire. If Victor himself decides to lower the boom, it won't just be exposure, it will be annihilation, and if one of the city's many sharp-tongued women beats them all to the punch, Audra could find herself socially ostracized with no one left to manipulate. Still, one cannot underestimate Audra's resilience. This is a woman who has survived by adapting, by spinning new lies when old ones faltered, by finding cracks in the walls others build against her. Even as her web unravels, there remains the possibility that she could twist the exposure to her advantage, painting herself as the victim, shifting blame to someone else, or even turning the tables on her accusers. The drama lies not only in her downfall, but in how far she is willing to go to avoid it. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Will she confess before she's caught? Will she double-cross an ally in a desperate bid for survival? Or will she go down swinging, dragging others with her? Genoa City is on edge, waiting for the moment when the truth bursts into the open. For Audra Charles, exposure is inevitable. The only mystery that remains is who will deal the final blow and what the consequences will be when her lies are laid bare for all to see. Until that moment, the city buzzes with anticipation, knowing that Audra's empire of deceit is teetering on the brink of collapse, and the explosion will be unforgettable. Week of September 1st, 2025. The Young and the Restless. Spoilers for next week reveal that Phyllis will face a crisis. This might have to do with Kane Ashby's Billy Flynn recent business decisions. Billy warned Kane that he has no idea what he's unleashing regarding Phyllis. Plus, Daniel Romalotti Jr., Michael Grazzotti, overheard Phyllis leaving another frantic message for Kane. With Daniel recently connecting with Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, it seems that there could be more twists and complications coming. With Amanda Sinclair, Miss Hale Morgan, back in GC, I wonder what her new assignment from Kane will be. Amanda could be told to keep an eye on Phyllis. Meanwhile, Phyllis could play some of her own games with the lawyer. Even though Kane claimed he was shelving his original idea, Billy and Sally are both suspicious. It's only a matter of time before the whole truth comes out. With Victor Newman, Eric Braden blackmailing Kane, I wonder what the future holds. It certainly seems that Kane's video message struck a chord with Lily Winter's crystal.